The first time I saw her, she was standing under the buzzing neon sign of the only 24-hour diner left on our side of Chicago, holding her heels in one hand like she had already walked too far. Rain had just started, that light mist that makes the street shine like black glass. I was leaning against my old black Chevy, waiting on a parts courier who was already 30 minutes late. The smell of wet asphalt and fried onions mixed in the air. It felt like any other night, quiet, simple. Then she looked up and caught my eyes. "Can you drive me home?" she asked. No hello, no excuse, just that. Her voice was even, but something in it shook, like a note held too long. I straightened from the truck. Most people do not ask a stranger with grease on his hands and a beat-up pickup for a ride. Not on a dark street. Not at midnight. "You lost?" I asked. She shook her head. A slow, tired move. Up close I could see the details. Dark hair pulled back like it had been perfect earlier and then ruined by the night. Smudged eyeliner. A fitted navy dress and a thin coat that was too light for the wind. Her phone was in her hand, screen cracked, dead. "I do not want another car from the app," she said. "He sent 2 already." "Who?" I asked. She glanced past me. Toward the end of the block, a black SUV sat at the corner with the engine on, headlights off, just there, watching the diner. "His driver," she said. "He will not take no for an answer. So either you drive me home, or I walk until my feet bleed." Cops would tell her to call dispatch. Friends would tell her to share her location. But her phone was dead, and her shoulders were too stiff for this to be a simple bad date. I looked at the SUV. Tinted windows, no taxi sign, no logo. It did not move. Did not honk. It just sat there, humming. I made my choice. "I would drive you anywhere you wanted," I said. Her eyes flicked back to me. For the first time, something warm came into them, like relief she did not want to show. "You do not even know my name," she said. "Name does not change the road," I said. "Get in the truck," quote. She hesitated for half a second, like she was measuring if I was less dangerous than the man at the corner. Then she nodded. She opened the passenger door and climbed in, careful in that tight dress, clutching her heels and coat. I walked around slow, not sneaking, and slid into the driver's side. I made a point of locking both doors with a firm click. The sound settled something in my chest. "Seatbelt," I said. She snapped it into place with shaking fingers. "I am Mason," I added as I started the engine. "Harper," she said. The name fit her. Clean, sharp. "Where is home, Harper?" She rattled off an address in Wicker Park. I knew the street. Narrow road, old brick buildings, trees, good coffee shops. I pulled away from the curb, slow at first. In the mirrors, the SUV's headlights came on. It rolled forward. "Is that him?" I asked. She looked back once and her jaw clenched. "Yes," she said. "Keep going." I turned right, then left, then cut down a side street lined with warehouses. The SUV followed for 3 blocks. I did not speed up. I did not slam the wheel. I just drove like I did every night. Calm, predictable. "Do you do this a lot?" she asked softly. "Drive?" "Rescue strangers from men in black cars." "First time," I said. "But I am good at reading traffic." "I am not traffic," she said, and there was a flash of anger under the fear. "No," I said. "You are the only thing I am watching." She looked at me then, really looked, like she was searching my face for the catch, grease on my knuckles. Faded shop logo on my hoodie. A scar at my eyebrow from a wrench that slipped when I was 19. I let her look. At the next light, I turned off onto a narrow one-way she clearly did not know. "You are going the wrong way," she said. "For a regular route." "Yeah," I said. "Not for losing a tail." The SUV could not follow without breaking at least 3 rules. We waited. Its headlights slid past at the next big intersection, still heading straight. It did not turn. I relaxed my grip on the wheel a fraction. Harper sank back in the seat. Her shoulders dropped an inch. "He is not just a bad date," she said, staring out the window now. "He is my boss." That tracked. The dress, the tone, the SUV. "You quit?" I asked. "I tried to," she said. "He told me I was being dramatic, that I would change my mind once I calmed down. He sent the car to the diner and texted me that walking alone was unsafe, and I should get in if I knew what was good for me." I felt heat rise in my chest, slow and steady. Anger liked to hide under my ribs until it found metal. "You work where?" I asked. "Westlake Capital," she said. "He is the managing partner. I am the one who makes sure he does not burn the place down. Or I was." She hugged her coat tighter. "He is not used to hearing no," she added. I turned another corner and pulled onto a wider street. The city opened up in front of us. Lights. L trains. A couple walking their dog even at this hour. Normal life. "You did not get in the car," I said. "No," she said. I walked into a greasy spoon and asked a stranger to drive me home instead. Not sure that is any smarter. I huffed once, the closest thing I had to a laugh. "You picked a stranger with a toolbox," I said. "That improves your odds." Her lips curved a little at that. We rode in silence for a few minutes. The wipers squeaked across the windshield. Her fingers slowly relaxed around her heels. "How did you know I ditched my phone?" she asked suddenly. "You keep looking at your hand like it is supposed to be there," I said. "And you keep checking your coat pocket like a ghost pocket. And no one who can afford that dress walks out of a nice restaurant without paying their tab unless something's snapped." She let out a short breath. "You notice a lot," she said. "It is my job," I said. "Mechanics just fix engines," she said. "I build them from scratch," I said. "I need to know what every part is doing." People are not that different. We pulled up to her building, a brick walk up with a small front stoop and a dead plant in a pot. Most of the lights were off. The street was quiet. No black SUV in sight. I put the truck in park but left the engine on. "You live alone?" I asked. She nodded. "You have a lock that does not look like it is from 1980. She gave a small, tired smile. "I have 2 locks and a chain I installed myself," she said. "I am not completely helpless." "I did not say you were," I said. I watched the street once more, clean, still. She unbuckled her belt and reached for the door handle, then stopped. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I would pay you, but my cards are locked up in a purse I left on a very expensive table." I shook my head. "You can owe me a story," I said. "A story?" "Next time," I said. "Next time," she repeated. Something in her voice said she did not expect one. She opened the door and started to climb out. I could have driven off. That would have been the smart, simple move. Keep my head down, keep my life clean. Instead, I heard my own voice say, "If he shows up here, do not open the door. Call the cops. Then call the shop. Cole's Customs. Number is on that sign above the diner." She paused on the sidewalk and leaned down to look at me through the open door. The rain had started again. Light drops in her hair. "You really would drive me anywhere I wanted, huh?" she asked. I met her eyes. "Yeah," I said, "I would." Quote, "I watched her go inside, wait until I saw the light in her window come on and the shadow of her moving around. Only then did I shift into drive. By the time I pulled away from the curb, I already knew one thing. Whatever I had just stepped into with Harper was not going to end with one ride." 3 days later, I was under the hood of a '68 Camaro, elbow deep in an engine that had not turned over in 10 years, when I heard the bell over the front door. "Cole's Customs," Trace yelled from the office. "We fix cars, not souls." I slid my hand out, wiped it on a rag, and rolled my shoulders. The bay smelled like oil, metal, and the faint hint of burnt coffee from the pot we never washed right. Then I heard her voice. "I brought the soul damage with me," Harper said. "But I also brought snacks." I stepped out from behind the Camaro and saw her at the counter. She looked different in daylight. Hair in a low knot, soft gray sweater over black jeans, white sneakers. No club dress, no eyeliner streaked by rain. She was holding a cardboard tray with 2 coffees and a brown paper bag with grease spots. Her eyes moved around the shop, taking everything in. The lifts. The tools hung in neat rows. the scribbled whiteboard with work orders. Trace leaned on the counter, smirking. "You the damsel from the diner?" he asked. Harper blinked. "I am nobody's damsel," she said. "But yeah, I am the woman who almost got into the wrong car." Trace jerked his thumb my way. "Jet's tragic hero act lives," he muttered, then headed for the back, giving us space. I walked up, wiping my hands again even though it did nothing. "You made it," I said. She held up the coffees. "I did not have cash the other night," she said. "You said I could owe you a story. I thought I would pay interest." She slid one cup across the counter. It had my name on it in black marker. The spelling was wrong, but the thought was careful. "How did you know how I'd take it?" I asked. She lifted a shoulder. "I guessed black," she said. "You do not seem like the vanilla oat milk type." She was right. I took a sip. It was strong and clean. "What happened after?" I asked. "At Westlake." Her smile slipped. "They locked me out," she said. "Email, account cards, office fob. They said I had stepped away from my role without notice, and that they would be reviewing whether I had violated my contract." Her fingers tightened around her cup. "He sent flowers to my building that night," she added. "No note, just white roses on my doorstep. He thinks it is sweet. I saw a grave marker." My jaw clenched. "Did you call HR?" I asked. She laughed once. It was a hard sound. "He is HR," she said. "He hires. He fires. He signs the checks and the settlement agreements." The last assistant who tried to file a complaint signed an NDA and moved to Florida. "Cops?" I asked. "I filed a report," she said. "They said it is concerning. But until he breaks in or lays hands on me, it is a civil dispute. A man sending cars and flowers is not a crime if you have his last name on a fancy building." She opened the bag and pulled out a breakfast sandwich. She set it on the counter in front of me like it gave her something to do with her hands. "I am sorry," she said. "I do not know why I came here. I just walked past the diner and saw your truck outside, and then I kept walking until I hit your sign." "You came because you had nowhere you felt safe," I said. She looked up, surprised that I said it so plainly. "And this feels safe?" I asked. She looked around again. The concrete floor, the steel beams, the thick bay doors. "It does not look like a place he would ever set foot in," she said. "That helps." I nodded once. "You want to sit?" I asked. I pushed the gate at the end of the counter and led her back toward the tiny office. It was barely a room. One desk. 2 old rolling chairs. A file cabinet that groaned when you opened it. A window that looked out on the alley. Harper sat, tucking one foot under the chair, then set the other coffee in the bag on the desk. "So," I said, leaning on the doorframe, "give me the story." She took a breath. "His name is Owen Marks," she said. "He hired me 5 years ago. I was 27, broke and good with numbers. He said I had a sharp brain and a soft face, like it was a compliment." My hands curled into fists at my sides. "I told myself it was nothing," she said. "I loved the work. I built the systems. I organized the mess. He is brilliant with deals, but chaos everywhere else." I made him look steady. He liked that a lot. Her mouth twisted. "When did it change?" I asked. "About a year ago," she said, "right after our Series C closed. He started sending me thank you gifts, dresses, shoes, jewelry. I told him it was not appropriate. He said I was part of the brand and wanted me to look the part." Her fingers picked at the edge of the paper bag. "He started insisting I ride home in the company car after late nights." She continued. "It was always his car, with his driver. At first it felt like a perk. Then it felt like a leash." She looked up at me. "The night at the diner," she said, "he told me we were meeting a potential LP at that restaurant, just business. When I showed up, it was only him. No one else. He had booked the whole back room." Her throat worked. "He told me if I really believed in the firm I would show loyalty," she said. "His hand was on my leg under the table. I told him to stop. I told him I was done. He laughed. He said, 'You will calm down and apologize in the car.'" Quote, "I pictured her in that navy dress, trapped in a dark back room with a man who thought he owned everything in his reach. I went to the bathroom, she said. I did not come back. I walked until I could not feel my feet and ended up at the diner because the lights were bright and the door was open. And then you asked a stranger for a ride, I said. Not a stranger, she said quietly. You had your hands on an engine. You looked like you knew how to fix things. I did not say anything to that because I did not trust what would come out of my mouth. Do you have proof? I asked instead. Texts, emails, anything that shows pattern. She nodded and pulled a thin folder from her bag. She slid it across the desk. I opened it. Printouts of emails. His messages were phrased like jokes. You owe me a drink after that pitch. I like when you wear your hair down, makes the numbers go down smoother. Screenshots of late-night texts. Car is downstairs. Do not keep me waiting. If you ignore this, you are hurting us both. There was one voicemail transcription, his voice on the page. You are scared now, but you will thank me when you are not alone at 35. My teeth hurt from how hard I was clenching them. This is enough to see who he is, I said. Not enough yet to make him bleed, but it is a start. I do not want to make him bleed, she said. I just want him out of my life without him taking everything with him. What does he have his hands on? I asked. My reference, she said. My future. Her laugh was bitter. He has already called 2 firms in the city. Turned, Harper left, into. Harper melted down. Tech is a small world. Capital is even smaller. My phone is full of polite rejections I have not opened yet. She looked at me, eyes tired. He can freeze me without ever touching me again, she said. That is the part people do not understand. I watched her for a second, then made a decision. You are going to work here, I said. She blinked. What? She asked. You said you kept a fund from burning down, I said. You can handle 2 idiots with wrenches. We need someone to run invoices, schedule jobs, keep suppliers in line. I am good with metal. Trace is magic with engines. Neither of us is good with paper. She stared at me like I had suggested we move to Mars. Work here, she repeated. Day shifts, I said. Solid walls. 1 front door, 1 back, both with locks I trust. Cameras on the alley. You can sit at that desk and make this place run like a real business while you build your case and figure out your next move. He cannot freeze you here. He does not have his name on my door. She shook her head, half a protest, half disbelief. I cannot drag you into his mess, she said. You already did, I said, when you asked me to drive you home. Her eyes flicked up to mine. I do not have any money right now, she said. He froze my accounts. I cannot even cover rent if this goes on much longer. Good thing I am hiring a person, not a balance sheet, I said. We will work it out. Start with fewer hours. Take pay in cash for now. We will put it in writing so no one can twist it. She leaned back, staring at me. Something like hope flickered and tried to settle in her eyes. You would really do that? She asked. I told you, I said. I would drive you anywhere you wanted. Right now, you need a garage, not a ride. Her mouth curved slowly. You are serious, she said. I do not waste words, I said. She took a long breath and then nodded once, a small, sharp motion like she was signing something in her mind. Okay, she said. I will try it. But if this blows back on you, we will reinforce, I said. That is what I do. Outside, a car rolled past the open bay door. Harper's eyes flicked to the sound, still quick with worry. I followed her gaze. You will need a new phone, I said. Not connected to his systems. And we need to see if he has been tracking you. Her face went pale. You think he put something on my phone? She asked. He seems like the type, I said. She swallowed hard. Then maybe I did pick the right stranger, she said softly. I did not say anything. I just pulled my old laptop out from under the desk and set it down. Give me the device, I said. Let us see what he has been watching. Her hand went to her bag slowly. If I was right, Owen had not stopped at cars and flowers. And whatever we found hiding in her phone was going to change everything about the way I protected her next. Her phone looked normal. Cracked screen, a dent on one corner. a faint streak of glitter from some party she probably did not want to remember. It buzzed once on the desk, lighting up with a new notification from an unknown number. I flipped it face down before she could read it. "Give me your passcode," I said. She hesitated, then rattled it off. There was trust in that, more than I deserved yet. I hooked the phone up to my old laptop. It was a dinosaur I only used for diagnostics and things I did not want near the cloud. The fan whined when it booted. Harper sat across from me, hands folded so tight her knuckles went white. "What if you find nothing?" she asked. "Then we know he is just using people, not tech," I said. "That is easier to fight." "And if you find something," she whispered, "then we know what we are really up against." I dug into the settings. On the surface, it was clean. Basic apps, work email, calendar, a rideshare app, a meditation app she clearly never had time to use. Then I found it. Buried under System Services, there was an admin profile labeled WM Security Suite. "You ever install that?" I asked. She frowned. "No," she said. "The IT guy at Westlake set my phone up when they upgraded us. He said it was for extra protection in the field." Quote, I clicked deeper. The profile had permissions most users never touched. Remote mic access, location always on, ability to wipe the device and push silent updates. "Here," I said, turning the screen so she could see. "This is an enterprise profile. It lets whoever controls it see where you are, what network you are on, and sometimes hear what you hear." Quote. Her eyes widened. "How long has it been there?" she asked. I scrolled to the install date. 8 months, I said. She grabbed the edge of the desk to steady herself. "That is when we closed the last round," she said, "when he started making me go to more events. He said it was so he could reach me if something changed." Quote, "He has been reaching you," I said, "all the time." She pressed her lips together hard. Her eyes were bright, but no tears fell. Harper did not crumble. She compressed, like a spring under too much weight. "So he heard everything?" she asked. "Calls with my sister, doctor, friends." "Maybe not everything," I said, "but enough." She took a shuddering breath. "I feel sick," she said. I snapped screenshots of every permission page. I exported the config file and dumped it into an encrypted folder. Then I unplugged the phone. "Come on," I said. I took it out to the shop sink. There was a metal tray I used for soaking gunked parts. I filled it halfway with a degreasing solvent, then dropped the phone in. It fizzed as the liquid seeped into the ports. "Jet," she said, shocked. "My numbers, my photos." "Already backed up," I said. "I cloned the data before I killed it." The phone went dark. "You just murdered my phone," she said. "Your phone was a snitch," I said. "Now it is evidence." I fished it out with tongs and dropped it into a plastic bag, solvent dripping. I wrote the date on the outside with a marker. "This goes in your folder," I said. "Paper trail, physical proof. No one can say you are making it up." She watched me, a strange mix of horror and relief on her face. "What do I use instead?" she asked softly. I wiped my hands. "There is a strip mall 2 blocks over that sells burners for cash," I said. "We will go at lunch. New number, new account, no links to him. You only give it to people you trust." "Like my sister?" she asked. "And me," I said without thinking. Our eyes met. The air shifted. "And you?" she echoed quietly. The next week, Harper became part of the shop. She showed up every morning at 8, with her hair tied back and a travel mug in hand. She claimed the desk like it had always been hers. The old calendar came down. A whiteboard went up with color codes for each job. The chaos of invoices turned into neat digital files. Parts arrived on time. Customers actually paid when they were supposed to. She was good, too good. Between calls, she worked on her case. Every weird email, every late-night text, every florist receipt. She scanned them, labeled them, backed them up to an external drive she kept in her bag. We started calling it the pile. Owen did not disappear. He sent more flowers. We did not let them in. The delivery guys grumbled. Harper took photos of the cards and added them to the pile. He sent emails from his personal address, thinking of you. You are making things harder than they need to be. You will be back, we both know it. We saved them all." Then he changed tactics. On a Tuesday morning, just as I was sliding under a lifted truck, a White City hybrid pulled into the alley. A man in a neon vest and hard hat stepped out carrying a clipboard. "Code enforcement," he called. "Anonymous complaint about hazardous storage and unpermitted electrical work." Trace groaned. "Great," he muttered. "The fun police." I wiped my hands and walked over. "Morning," I said. "You got ID?" He showed me his card. It checked out. Harper was at the office doorway, one hand on the frame, watching. There was a sharpness in her eyes I recognized now, fear buried under strategy. "Let me see the complaint," I asked. He flipped his clipboard around. The form had boxes ticked off and a typed note at the bottom. "Shop may be storing flammables near open sparks. Concern for public safety." I read. No name, just anonymous. "Of course. Okay," I said. "Come on in. I will show you the setup." I walked him through the bays. Chemical cabinet, ventilation, proper signage, GFCI outlets near the solvent. Harper handed me the permits from the office when I held my hand out without looking back. She was already in sync with my moves. The inspector tried. He really did. He checked outlets. He ran his finger over the MSDS binder. He squinted at the fire extinguisher tags. In the end, he found one thing. "Your emergency exit sign in the back is out," he said, pointing. I looked up. The little red box above the door was dark. "Good catch," I said. I grabbed a stepladder and a new battery from the shelf. 2 minutes later, the sign glowed bright red again. The inspector scribbled something on his sheet. "I will mark it as corrected," he said. "No fines." He left. The alley went quiet again. Harper let out a breath loud enough that I heard it over the air compressor. "That was him," she said. "He filed that." "Yeah," I said. "He is testing how far he can push before something breaks." Her jaw tightened. "He is not used to losing," she said. "Then let's make this his first time," I said. That night, the rain came hard. The kind that drums on the corrugated roof and makes the whole building hum. We closed early. Trace went home. It was just me and Harper in the shop. She was at the desk, laptop glow soft on her face, finishing an email to a women's legal aid group her sister had recommended. I was checking the bay doors, sliding the steel bars into place. When I came back, she was standing by the front window, staring out at the street. "Jet," she said quietly, "look." Across the street, under a crooked street lamp, a man stood with an umbrella, tall, in a dark coat. He did not move, he did not smoke. He just stood there, watching the shop. Even through the rain and glass, I recognized the posture. Relaxed, arrogant, like the world was a stage and he was bored of his own lines. "Is that him?" I asked. She nodded once, breath shallow. "Do not go out there," she said quickly. "He wants you to do something. He will twist it. Tell the cops you threatened him." "I am not going to touch him," I said. I went to the breaker panel and flipped the switch for the exterior floods. The front of the shop exploded in white light. The man under the street lamp flinched, lifting his arm to shield his eyes. For the first time, I saw his face clearly. Expensive jawline, cold eyes, the kind of smile that never reached them. Owen. I stepped up to the glass door. I did not open it. I just stood there, arms crossed, and looked back at him. We stared at each other through the rain and the light. He was used to office glass, conference rooms, polished surfaces that reflected him back the way he liked. This glass was different. It had grease smudges and a crack in one corner. It belonged to my world, not his. After a long moment, he turned. He walked to a black SUV parked half a block away, got in, and drove off. I waited until the taillights were gone before I turned off the floods. When I went back to the office, Harper was shaking. She had her arms wrapped around herself, fingers pressed into her elbows hard enough to leave marks. "He will not stop," she said. "He cannot stand that I left first." "He is escalating because he is losing control," I said. "Men like him only know how to push. They do not know how to retreat." She looked at me, eyes bright and angry. "I am tired of reacting," she said. "Tired of hiding. tired of waiting for the next trick. I want this over. It will not be fast, I said, but we can make it clean. Her mouth trembled. I am going to lose everything I worked for, she whispered. Maybe, I said, but you will still have you. That is the part he is trying to crush. Her eyes filled then. One tear slipped down, and she swiped it away like it offended her. You always know exactly where to push. You know that, she said. It is what I do, I said. Find weak points, strengthen them, or cut them out. She stepped closer. The office was small. Her perfume was faint, under the shop smells. Vanilla, soap, and something uniquely her. You keep reinforcing everything around me, she said softly. Doors, cases, paper trails. What about us? My heart kicked once, hard. What about us? I asked. She swallowed. Is that just another job to you? She asked. Or is there something here you would fight for, even if there were no cameras, no folders, no evidence? There it was. Simple and heavy. I could have backed away. Could have said we should not mix business and whatever this was. Instead, I stepped in, just enough that her shoulder brushed my chest. I do not take jobs I would not stand in front of, I said, and I do not stand in front of people I do not care about. Her breath hitched. Her hand rose halfway, then dropped, like she did not quite trust herself to reach for me. The shop phone rang. The sound was jarring after the quiet. She startled and moved back. I cursed silently and grabbed it. Coles, I said. A crisp female voice came through. Is this Jet? She asked. Yeah. This is Detective Morales, she said. Harper Miller listed you as a contact on a report. We got an update on the Westlake situation. I think you are going to want to bring her in. My stomach went cold. What kind of update? I asked. There was a pause. Mr. Marks filed a harassment complaint against Ms. Miller this afternoon, she said. He is claiming she is stalking him and sending threatening messages from an unknown number. He has screenshots. The captain wants this cleaned up quietly. I do not think it is what it looks like, but the paper is on my desk. I looked at Harper. She watched my face, eyes wide, fingers curled around the back of the chair. We will come in, I said. I hung up. What now? She asked. He is trying to flip the story, I said. Make you the unstable one. He is faster with paper than the cops are with truth. Fear flashed across her face, then something else. Steel. What do you need from me? She asked. Everything, I said, and one more ride. Her brows knit. Where? She asked. I grabbed my keys and her evidence folder. To the station first, I said. Then, to wherever this ends. She stepped toward me, closer than before. Her voice was quiet but clear. Can you drive me home? She asked. There was a tremor in it, but not from doubt, from how much she was trusting me with. I met her eyes. I told you, I said. I would drive you anywhere you wanted. I flicked off the office light. The rain was still falling when we walked out to the truck together. Whatever waited on the other side of that ride was not going to be simple. But I already knew one thing. I was not letting her face it alone. The station smelled like old coffee, wet coats, and paper that had lived too long. I hated places like that. Too many stories stuck in the walls. Too many people who never got the ending they deserved. Harper walked beside me, chin up, shoulders back. Her hands shook only once when we passed through the metal detector. She shoved them into her coat pocket so no one could see. Detective Morales met us at the front desk. Mid-30s, dark hair in a tight bun, suit that had seen a lot of late nights. Her eyes were sharp, but not cruel. Harper, she said. You must be Jed. Yeah, I said. Her gaze dipped to the folder under my arm. That your famous pile? She asked. It is, I said. Good, she said. Follow me. She led us to a small interview room. No mirror, just a table, 3 chairs, a recorder on the edge. I want this on record, Morales said, so no one can pretend they did not hear it later. She turned on the recorder, said the date and time, and our names. Then she slid a sheet of paper across the table. It was a printout of a complaint. Owen's name at the top, Harper's name in the middle. Words like stalking and unstable behavior jumped off the page. Attached at the back were screenshots of text messages. They were bad. Why will you not let me live my life? I will ruin you if you walk away. You belong to me, you just do not see it yet. All from a number that was not his and not hers. He says these came from you, Morales said, from an unknown phone, that you used a burner to harass him after he tried to help you. Quote, Harper's face went white. I did not send those, she said. I have never used numbers like that. I do not even talk like that. I know, Morales said, but his lawyer is pushing this hard. So we need to be smarter than they are. She looked at me. That is where you come in, Grease Monkey, she said. I opened the folder and started laying things out. First, the screenshots of the device profile on Harper's old phone. Then the photo of the dead phone in the solvent tray. The admin settings page blown up and printed. Then the florist receipts, the coffee shop photo, the late-night texts from his personal number. Westlake installed this security profile on her device 8 months ago, I said. It gave them access to her mic and location. Someone there had the ability to push apps, copy messages, and track her without her consent. Morales nodded, eyes scanning every page fast, but not careless. Her phone started acting strange 3 weeks ago. I went on. Battery drain, random restarts. That is when these threat texts began. From a number she never used. I am guessing whoever set this up cloned parts of her data to a second line, then used it to send messages to Owen while making it look like it came from her. Can you prove that? Morales asked. Not alone, I said, but the device management company can. Every profile like this has a central log. It lives on a server with timestamps and IP addresses. You issue a warrant to Westlake's IT vendor, you will see who pushed what and when. Morales whistled low. You are wasted on carburetors, she said. Engines tell the truth, I said. So do logs. I slid the photo of Owen in the rain across the table, the still frame from my exterior camera. His face clear, the time and date burned in the corner. He claims she is watching him, I said. This was taken outside my shop at 1032 Pages M, 3 days ago. He was standing under a street lamp, watching us. We were inside. She was at the desk. You can match the time to our alarm log if you want. Harper added her part without being asked. Here, she said, sliding a printed email forward. He sent this that same night from his personal account. You cannot hide forever. You will come back when you are done punishing yourself. Quote. Morales looked from the email to the photo. Pattern, she said. He follows. He sends. He flips it when you do not fold. She turned off the recorder for a second and looked right at Harper. Do you want to press charges? She asked. Harper's fingers curled into the edge of the table. Her eyes met mine for a beat, searching. I did not say anything. This had to be her call. Yes, she said. Her voice did not shake. I do, quote. Morales nodded, turned the recorder back on, and had Harper say it again for the tape. By the time we walked out of the station, the sky was clearing. The rain had stopped. The streets shone under the streetlights. Now what? Harper asked. Now I write a report that will annoy my captain, Morales said. Then I go bother a judge for a data warrant. In the meantime, do not talk to him. Do not answer unknown numbers. If he shows up in person, you call me first, then 911. She looked at me. And you, she said, keep your temper. You hit him once, and he wins. I do not need to hit him, I said. I have paperwork. She smiled faintly. Good answer, she said. On the way back to the truck, Harper was quiet. Her steps were slow, like the weight of the day was pressing down now that the adrenaline was gone. When we reached the curb, she stopped and turned to me. I thought you were going to tell me I was overreacting, she said softly, that I should let the system handle it. I saw him under that street lamp, I said. That was enough. Quote. She studied my face like she had the first night, only this time there was no fear in her eyes, just a tired softness and something warmer under it. Can you drive me home? She asked. There it was again. The same words. The same small crack in the middle. Which home? I asked. She looked down at her hands, then back at me. "I do not want to go back to my old apartment," she said. "Every corner feels like him now. The elevator, the mailroom, the stupid roses on the mat. When I think of home now, I think of the shop, of the office, of you making coffee that tastes like motor oil." "Hey," I said. "It is good motor oil," she said. A small smile pulled at her lips. "Jet, when you say you would drive me anywhere I wanted, does that include one more stop?" Quote, "Name it," I said. "Your place," she said. "Just for tonight. I do not want to be alone with all this in my head. I will sleep on the couch. I will leave in the morning if it is too much, but right now, I just want to be somewhere that is not mine and not his." My chest tightened in a way that had nothing to do with fear. "Yeah," I said, "I can do that." The drive to my apartment was quiet in the good way. Her head rested against the window, the city smeared by in streaks of yellow and red. I watched the road, checked the mirrors, felt her there beside me like a new weight I already liked. My building was small. Brick. No elevator. 3rd floor walk up. I killed the engine and looked over. "You sure?" I asked. She nodded. Inside, my place looked exactly like what it was. One man's space. Couch, small kitchen, tools stacked in the corner, books on engines and a coffee table I had built out of reclaimed wood. Harper walked in and turned once, taking it in. "This feels like you," she said. "Messy?" I asked. "Solid," she said. I grabbed extra blankets from the closet and tossed them on the couch. "You can take the bed," I said. "I will take this." She shook her head. "I am not kicking you out of your own room," she said. "We are both exhausted. We will share. Top layer only, no weird moves, and if you snore, I will smother you with your own pillow." Quote. The way she said it made something in my chest loosen. Still her. Still sharp, even with everything burning around her. "Deal," I said. We lay on top of the covers like two kids at a sleepover, fully dressed. A careful stretch of space between us. The room was dark, except for the city glow leaking through the blinds. "Jet," she whispered. "Yeah," I said. "You are not just helping because you hate guys like him, right?" she asked. "You are helping because of me." I turned my head on the pillow until I could see her outline, her hair spread over the sheet, her hand resting inches from mine. "I hate guys like him," I said, "but I am doing this because of you." Her fingers inched closer until they brushed mine. I turned my hand palm up. She slipped her hand into it like it had always belonged there. "Thank you," she said. "You do not have to thank me for being where I want to be," I said. She was quiet for a long time after that. Her breathing slowed. Her grip on my hand stayed. I did not sleep at first. I thought about logs and warrants, and men who thought power meant no one could say no to them. I thought about the way Harper had stood in that station and said, "I want to press charges," like she was finally done carrying his weight. At some point, the thoughts faded. The sound of her breathing pulled me under. Morning came soft and bright. Sun leaked through the blinds. Our hands were still joined between us. Her eyes blinked open. For a second, she looked confused. Then she remembered. Her fingers squeezed mine. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now we wait for Morales to do her job," I said. "We keep the shop running. We live. We do not let him freeze us while the paper moves." "And us?" she asked. I turned toward her fully now. "Us," I said. "We see where this goes with eyes open. No secrets, no tracking. If you ever want to get out of the truck, you say it. If you want me to keep driving, you say that too." Her eyes warmed. "Okay," she said. "Then I am saying it now. Do not stop." She leaned in and kissed me. Slow, clear. Not a panic move, a choice. I kissed her back, hand sliding to her jaw, thumb brushing her cheek. She tasted like morning and stale coffee, and something sweeter I did not have a word for. When we pulled back, we were both smiling. In my world, a good weld is simple. Clean prep, right heat, steady hand, no showy lines. Just a joint that will hold when the frame hits a pothole at full speed. That was what this felt like. Not perfect, not pretty, but real. Two people who had been bent and stressed and still chose to lean into each other. Later, the case would move. Logs would come back. Owen would have to explain his security profile to a judge who did not care about his watch or his shoes. He would learn that money could not always drown the truth. But that morning, none of that was here yet. It was just Harper in my bed, her hand in mine, her voice soft when she said it one more time. "Can you drive me home?" Quote. I kissed her forehead and pulled her closer. "I already am," I said. "Anywhere you want."